morning's session on August 20, profit-taking pressure intensified, causing the VN index to drop nearly 21 points. After continuously setting new historic highs, the market faced broad-based selling this morning and reversed, losing almost 21 points. Without the braking effect of VIX, the decline could have been much larger. In yesterday's session, on August 19th, led by banking stocks, the market surged strongly, setting a new record high at 1,654.2 points. From the beginning of August, the VN index has risen 10%, and since the start of the year, it is up more than 30%. Since bottoming out on April 9th, the index has experienced only mild corrections lasting a few sessions, then resumed an even stronger upward pace, repeatedly breaking historic highs. After yesterday's rally, technical indicators still signaled strength, and securities firms projected that the market would consolidate around the 1,650-point level before quickly regaining momentum to conquer new peaks. The nearest resistance was expected in the 1665-1670 zone. However, after such an extended, strong rally, the VN index needed time to absorb heavy supply and cool off before advancing further. True to this scenario, in this morning's session, the VN index opened higher, testing the 1670 resistance, but at that level, profit-taking surged, pushing hundreds of stocks into decline. Consequently, the VN index lost more than 20 points, falling below the reference. Still, just as in the past 8 sessions, the 3-year moving average acted as a strong support. Once the VN index neared the 1640-point zone, it rebounded close to the reference level, thanks mainly to a handful of large-cap stocks, especially VIX, along with banks such as TCB, VPB, CTG, and OCB. However, the rebound was fragile, as declining stocks outnumbered gainers by more than 4-1. Selling pressure remained strong, pushing the index further down at times below 1,615 points before trimming losses into the close, supported again by VIX, VHM, and some banks. At the end of the morning, the VN index fell 20.98 points, minus 1.27%, to 1,633.22 points, with only 58 gainers versus 282 losers. Total trading volume reached 1.55 billion shares, worth 42,823.3 billion VND, up 61% in volume and 65% in value compared to the previous morning. Negotiated transactions contributed less than 1,000 billion VND. As noted, VIX was the key brake preventing a deeper decline, rising 2.71% to 121,400 VND, with 3.49 million shares matched, contributing 2.8 points to the VN index, and at one point nearly 4%, worth 4 points. Other VIN Group stocks VMH and VRE also closed slightly higher, plus 0.75% and plus 0.17% respectively. In the VN30 basket, besides the VIN Group trio, only 5 other stocks gained. VPB limit up to 21,900 VND with 61.47 million shares traded, MWG, CTG, TCB, and GVR, along with SSB flat. Among banks, OCB jumped 4.69% to 13,400 VND, MSP rose 1.59% to 16,000 VND, while TCB and CTG edged up around 0.8%. The rest mostly declined, with steep losses at VPB minus 4.34%, TPB minus 3.76%, ACB minus 3.51%, MBB minus 3.01%, SHB minus 2.97%, LPB minus 2.77%, and VCB minus 2.18%. Securities firms also saw heavy selling. Only BSI and DSE stayed slightly positive, while most others declined sharply. AGR dropped over 5% to 18,050 VND to 23,500 VND, with several others down 3-4%, such as SSI minus 3.99%, HCM minus 3.79%. In steel, only TLH rose slightly above 1%. HSG stayed flat, while others fell, NKG minus 4.12%, HSG minus 4.08%, and HPG minus 2.49%. Real estate stocks were also dominated by red. With a few exceptions, HQC hit limit up to 5,580 VND, while EVG hit the floor at 10,250 VND. Liquidity leaders included SHB with 115.33 million shares traded, followed by APG, 68.24 million shares, and VPB. On the HNX, the index only stayed green briefly at the open before turning negative under profit-taking pressure. Although it recovered somewhat from session lows, it still posted a sharper drop than the VN index. The HNX index lost 8.3 points, minus 2.9%, to 278.15, with 29 gainers and 146 losers on 137.8 million shares worth 3,142.3 billion VND, mostly matched trades. All 10 top liquid HNX stocks fell, except HUT and NVB, under minus 2%, while others plunged 3 to 8%. Leading was SHS, trading 34.35 million shares, down 6.15% to 24,400 VND, followed by CEO with 20.68 million shares, down 5.19% to 25,600 VND. On Upcom, trading was more balanced with narrow fluctuations around reference. The Upcom index dipped only 0.4 points, minus 0.39% to 100.935 points, with 68 gainers and 171 losers, on 85.3 million shares worth 1,210 billion VND, with little contribution from negotiated trades. Bank stocks BVV and ABB led liquidity. BVV traded 18.9 million shares, up 6% to 15,900 VND, while ABB traded 15.53 million shares, up 2.31% to 13,300 VND.